Hi everyone, hope all is well. So today I'm going to show you what are the fastest ways to fill your agitation meter in the new Retaliation game mode that's coming next season in the Division 2. If that sounds interesting, well, stick around. So we've just had the latest public test server for the Division 2. The main thing, or the main new thing in there, was the Retaliation game mode, but I'm not going to cover that like really how it works, or talk about kill squads and maneuvers or exotic blueprints. There's been plenty of content creators that have already covered it, so check out the likes of Rogue Gold, DJ Tickle, Tuxedo Bandito, or whoever your favourite creator is. I'm sure they've done a really good job of explaining it, and they'll probably do it way better than what I can. What I'm going to cover is how to move this thing, the agitation meter, and I'll give you all of the number percentages that each activity in the game gives you to really increase this meter, and also help you decide what's going to be best for you to get it to 100% so you can start a retaliation. Now, every open world activity or mission progresses the agitation meter, with the exception of anything really to do with Black Tusk, so missions or activities which involve the Black Tusk. Just simply because the Black Tusk don't count in retaliation and they don't occupy an area. So each faction, as I mentioned, has its own agitation meter. In DC, you can see the Hyenas, True Sons and Outcasts. In New York, you can see the Rikers and the Cleaners. To get the most bang for your buck, I would say set your world difficulty as high as you possibly can, so whatever you're most comfortable with, generally because the amount of meter progression is increased when you're completing activities and missions on higher difficulties. So it's also worth noting that directives don't move the meter any faster. If you've got no directives on or 5 directives on, it moves at exactly the same speed. Now, on the screen you can see that I've put a little infographic up that I knocked up. It shows you how each activity or mission impacts the agitation meter progression. It's also worth noting that I've rounded some of these numbers up or down to the nearest like 0.5%, and also that the numbers are obviously from the PTS, so they could well change when Retaliation goes live in the next season. I'll also leave a link in the description for this little info sheet, so you can download it, use it for your own reference, or use it with your own community. I'm not bothered, free for all really. If the values do change when Retaliation goes live, I won't be making another video. Well, certainly not that sort of person. I'll just update the sheet so you can re-download it, which is pretty much fair enough. But looking at the sheet, yeah, realistically, strongholds are your big one. If you can do like an heroic stronghold, that's 60% straight off the bat. But one of the other things you also get like a percentage increase from killing NPCs. So what you'll find is like, or what I found, like they ran like DUA as an example, which gave me 60% towards the meter on completion. But because I killed like X amount of NPCs of all different variation, it felt more like 80%, you know, or I might have even been higher. Now obviously the more people you have in your group, generally the more NPCs that you're going to have, so therefore the percentage will keep going up really. You can see that a lot of the open world stuff is not particularly great, but I think with Retaliation it'll be one of these things where you will just really max that agitation meter out without really realising while you're just doing your regular gameplay loop, whether you're doing some missions, you're maybe doing a project or something, you know, or you're running around doing some open world projects or open world activities, or like some bounties or whatever it is, you know what I mean. Generally you'll probably find that you're going to fill that up quite naturally. I suppose really at first though, when it's new and shiny and everyone wants to play it, you're probably going to be like wanting to do as many of them as you can, so therefore you want to get it up as fast as you possibly can, you know, to max. You'll also notice as well that master difficulty gives you a full 100% if you do it, which is pretty fantastic. However, that doesn't include any master missions which are Black Tusk, because Black Tusk give you nothing. Not in this game. I'm sure that was off a game show somewhere along the lines, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you get nothing off Black Tusks. So if you're going to do a master, it was probably going to be the well, what we've got, the one on not on Portland because that was Black Tusk, Roosevelt Island, that will probably count, and also the one we had in Space Admin. Yeah, so again, that'll probably count. And last up really is just about times. For those of you who know, when you start Retaliation, you get a certain amount of time on the clock to start off with. Now, I think some people think it's the same all the time, but it actually isn't. So if you do a Retaliation in Brooklyn or you do one in New York, you get 7.5 minutes to start the timer. Now, what happens when you start a Retaliation? You get a loading screen. The timer starts the second you press the button. So when you've got this loading screen, it's actually using the timer. So that can actually use anywhere between like 10 to 30 seconds before you actually load in. So you lose that off your time. But anyway, as I said, Brooklyn and New York give you like 7.5 minutes. If we go to if you have one in West End, Foggy Bottom, Constitution Hall or West Portmark Park, it's 7.5 minutes again. However, if you have a Retaliation in Downtown East Mall or the White House area, it gives you 8 minutes. Okay, some of it's just down to the distance that I think you've got to run. And then last up, if you have something in Judiciary Square, Southwest or Downtown West, you get a 7-minute timer when you actually start. Whereas I've said, the loading time, the time is ticking while it's loading, which is like incredibly stupid in my opinion. But if I'm honest with you, unless they change something from the test server, time is not really a problem. Every time I've done Retaliation, time has not been a problem whatsoever. So I can't imagine it being an issue for anyone really. But I just thought I'd bring that up. So other than that, I do have a decent idea of the drop rates for the exotic blueprints, on what the drop rates are for kill squads and what the drop rates are for completing the Retaliation. Now, I can't 100% confirm this because I haven't really tested it enough, so I'm not going to give any numbers out, but I will say from experience and from what I know, kill squads have an absolutely massive chance to drop the exotic blueprints than what actually completing a Retaliation is. So don't shy away from those kill squads because they're going to be really important, and they're probably going to be the easiest way for you to be able to get your exotic blueprints. And you can get them a couple of times. We had them a couple of times, and each time they dropped us a blueprint. What I would say, and a lot of people won't believe me on this, challenge and difficulty is probably the way to go. But you heard that one from me, who always plays challenging all the time and very rarely plays heroic. Quite clearly fucking garbage. But so that's it. That's it from me. Hope this has been interesting. If you're still here, thank you very much. If you're not here, well, you're not here, are you? I should call you something. No, I won't. And really, that's it from me. And bye-bye now.